Amsterdam is one of the great cities of the world, there's no question about it. It certainly belongs in Europe's top 10. You'll find it endlessly fascinating, just walking around in the little streets, the canals, the bridges, thousands of shops, dozens of museums. This is the big city of the Netherlands, of course. #1 in the country, the economic center, population center, and cultural center of the Netherlands. Amsterdam today is certainly one of the most popular cities in the world. They get something like 5 million overnight tourists every year, plus another 16 million day trippers who come in, say on a bus tour for a day, which is very unfortunate to only stay here for one day. You should spend at least 3 days, maybe 4, 5, even 6 days. You could spend a week in Amsterdam. While the museums and historic landmarks and traditional architecture are among the great sights of Amsterdam, you'll also enjoy walking along those quaint streets and admiring the magnificent canals. Then sit back and relax at a sidewalk café. There are thousands of things to see in Amsterdam. In this episode, we're focusing on how delightful the very center of town is, all around the Dam Square and nearby neighborhoods, including the West Church, where we take you up inside the bell tower for a carillon concert. We'll even show you a bit of an evening horse carriage parade. Many visitors first arrive here at the train station, and then walking out front, one of the first things you'll see is the boat harbor called the Damrak. It's a marina for the canal boat tours, with buildings seemingly floating on their reflections. It's a photogenic spot, so even if you're walking by loaded down with 2 backpacks and some booklet stuck in your mouth, you'll still want to stop and take a picture. Canal Tours start at this scenic location and bring you on a 1-hour ride through the waterways of town. The boat tours usually get started about 10 a.m. with frequent departures throughout the day and into the evening. You can buy the ticket right here. Damrak is the name of the marina and this busy main street running right next to it that connects the train station with Dam Square, just 1 kilometer away. This little marina was part of the original main harbor, and the street was the major canal going into the center of town. Trams come by every couple of minutes, so hop on, check in with your OV chip card, have a seat or stand, it's only a few minutes ride, and you'll soon be arriving in the heart of Amsterdam at Dam Square. It's the center of action in the city, equivalent to Piccadilly Circus in London or a little Times Square. Streets around it are a busy mix of pedestrians and traffic, looking back down Damrak towards the train station where we came from, then Damrak Boat Marina and the Dam Square. We'll be looking at the central part of town, just around the neighborhood surrounding the Dam Square. The Royal Palace was originally built as Europe's largest town hall in the mid-17th century. For a while it became the royal residence. Now it's a historic monument open to the public. This Kingdom of the Netherlands still has a royal family, but the monarchs never played much of a role in running the country. Instead, it was controlled by the merchants. The plaza is always like a 3-ring circus, with lots of street performers doing all kinds of tricks for you. There's never any charge for this free entertainment, but as always, if you like the show, and especially if you're taking pictures, it's nice to give them a tip. You'll also want to take care of your guide on that free walking tour. The White Obelisk is the national monument, dedicated to the victims of the Second World War and to peace. From above, we see the Dam Square framed by that obelisk and the Royal Palace and many other fine buildings. The Dam is also a popular gathering place for pigeons, and they're so used to people they love to sit on your arm if you're going to feed them. Or you could drop in on Madame Tussauds Wax Museum. One of the fascinating streets leading out from the Dam is Domstrad. Just 200 meters long, it's a lively, fun place. Mostly pedestrian and bicycle, but a few cars might come through. The people and bicycles pretty much control the street. which is lined by a huge variety of fast food and sit-down restaurants. The street can get a little crowded because Amsterdam gets 20 million visitors every year, and it seems like every one of them wants to come walking on Domstrad. The resident population of the city is only 1 million, so the locals are really outnumbered by the visitors. Here you can stock up on your psychedelic supplies, especially magic truffles. Our street continues across this lovely canal, then changes names a few times as it gets into an older part of town, which we'll save for another show. For now, we're heading briefly back to the Dom and to some streets beyond it. Another way you can do your sightseeing is in a horse carriage ride around town. The Dom is a good place to flag them down because it's always so busy here. One evening, I walked over to Dom Square to have a look around and ran into a long lineup of very large horses and black carriages. Something most unusual is going on here. So I asked one of the drivers if she could explain. What's going on? What is this?
This evening is once in a year, one evening in a year. There is an evening with all carriages, and in the carriages we have guests, and the guests are the ambassadors of the whole world. All the ambassadors who live in Amsterdam and in Den Haag are here now, and they are our guests. Within a few minutes they will come in the carriage, and then we make the next step for the tour.
Wow, so it'll be a parade of carriages.
Yeah, and we drive them through whole Amsterdam.
Wow. This was a most unusual event that you will probably never see in your visit. So I'm happy to share it with you, and I'll have more of it at the end of the program. Here's another way to get around town. On a beer bike or a pedal bar, guided by your designated driver. We are just behind the Dom Square, looking at the back of the Royal Palace and the new church. The church dates back to 1408. It was rebuilt in the beautiful brick and stone we see today. Across the street, another building looking like a church is actually now a shopping mall. Originally, it was the main post office of Amsterdam. The central hall of the interior has galleries on 2 upper floors, surrounded by arcades. This magnificent building was constructed at the end of the 19th century in the neo-Gothic style, similar to that of the main train station and the Rijksmuseum, but something unique and very special in itself. It was built as the main post office over 100 years ago, but in the 1990s it was converted into this luxurious shopping mall. Then it was added to the list of 10 most valuable monuments of the city of Amsterdam. They even have a pottery shop where you can paint your own designs. For the visitor, it's a great place to look for souvenirs and knickknacks of all kinds, maybe a backpack, or perhaps you're looking for designer clothing and fashion accessories. Even if you are not doing any shopping, the building itself is so beautiful to see on the inside that you really must come on in that front door and have a look around. 1 block behind it brings you to the single canal and a most unusual bridge, Torensluis, one of the oldest and widest in town, 42 meters wide. So large it provides a terrace for an outdoor café, and has rooms underneath it that are remnants of a former prison and the old city wall. In recent years, those rooms were open to the public as a jazz club and an art exhibit area. And there used to be a tower on top in the 17th century. Now we're walking a few blocks west along this charming side street with some cafes. You can get a falafel and shops like jewelry and gifts, and there's a up-to-date modern computer store. This city is a mix of new and old, such as this outdoor toilet. You might say pissoir. They call it the Iron Curl. There's more than 100 of these public urinals scattered around town, providing a much-needed service since 1880. We have reached the Prince's Canal, built in the 16th century and named after the Prince of Orange. recap the walk route starting from the Dom to the Magna Store, onto that wide bridge and along the canals, and then over to the Prince's Canal, and we'll be continuing along that canal and circling back to the Dom. As usual, the side streets in this neighborhood are always worth taking a look. Perhaps walk up one side and turn around and come back down the other, and then continue by walking alongside the canal. Notice the street and its canal have the same name. Taking that canal boat tour is highly recommended. A very relaxing and easy way to enjoy the sights of these beautiful buildings going by. Sitting at a sidewalk restaurant alongside the canal is another perfect way to enjoy these sights and have a relaxing time. There are more than 1,000 restaurants in town, and many of them have these lovely outdoor tables. It's a beautiful atmosphere. And this was filmed during the month of October when the weather was still quite mild. Now we've gone just beyond the Prince's Canal into what's called the Jordan District. We have a separate movie all about that beautiful neighborhood that you can find in our collection. This is one of 4 main canals that form a concentric belt around the city. Because of their significant history and good preservation, this canal ring area is listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. There are many houseboats permanently tied up along the banks of the canal. Great place to live. Some available as vacation rentals. We are crossing over the canal now and heading back in the direction towards the Dom Square. And along the way there are some very tempting cafes and restaurants. This bistro has a typical lunch menu of baguettes, croquettes, toasted sandwiches, hamburger, fried eggs, Dutch soup, or French fries, with mostly local customers. Radhuisstraat is notable for its curved arcade shopping gallery built in 1899, influenced by similar modernistic developments in Paris and Vienna at that time. Nearby is the Anne Frank House and Westerkerk, the world's largest Protestant church when built in the early 17th century. The church was built in the 1620s in the Renaissance style, with the town's highest church tower at 87 meters. Some years ago, I walked up inside the tower on a regular tour and was lucky enough to come upon a carillon concert.
There's a little wooden stairs, leads to the second. If you wait for me there, there's where the tour will start. From then on, we'll make our way slowly up into the top of the tower. Okay? Okay. Some of them.
There are 42 bells inside the tower, played in that old-fashioned way with mechanical keys and pulleys. When you climb up in the tower, you're also welcome to go outside for this stupendous view looking over the entire city. The tower has been open to the public on these regular tours, but hardly ever would you find somebody inside playing the carillon. We got extremely lucky because the student was practicing for an exam later that afternoon with his teacher standing outside the church listening and grading him.
So she's standing outside, so I'm a little nervous to play.
And then you have an audience besides.
It requires a special training. I think it's 5 years or not. 5 years. Yeah,
I'm in the 7th year.
You're in the 7th year.
Classical music or rock and roll.
Yeah, every kind of music you can play.
They even performed the Beatles here.
Yeah, well, I think he's still.
that brings us back to the Dom, where, as promised, we're going to enjoy a horse carriage parade. It's a special event for ambassadors to the Netherlands. A unique celebration you will likely not see in person, so here it is for your enjoyment as we wind down the program. The Royal Palace makes an appropriate background for this elegant parade. This program is ending in a minute, so let me remind you I have a couple of dozen more movies about the Netherlands and Amsterdam. Look for them in my collection, and thanks for watching.